Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a huge declutter and deep clean of my kitchen. This was desperately needed and we're just going to get right into it. So first off, I'm spraying some Easy Off into the oven and I'm going to let that soak while I work in the rest of the kitchen. It was really just the bottom of the oven and also the door that needed to be cleaned. So I'm kind of just focusing on those areas instead of taking all the wire racks out and cleaning those as well. I've done that pretty recently and honestly, I just don't enjoy doing it. So we're not going to take those out today. Before I can move on to anything else, I always like to get the dishes out of the sink, and you can see I have the water running here. I was trying to let it heat up and it was taking a while, but obviously I want hot water when I'm rinsing dishes off. But while I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'm collecting all of the recycling that's in the sink and using the running water to make sure I rinse everything before I throw it into our recycling bin.
I think that I'm going to hiding somewhere by a gated star.
Just a little PSA here, if you're not the person that regularly does the dishes but you enjoy oatmeal, please fill up your bowl with water or rinse your bowl after you've eaten oatmeal because it literally turns into cement. You can see here I am struggling to get the oatmeal out of this bowl, and even if I put it in the dishwasher with the oatmeal still stuck in it, it would not come off. I'm telling you, it becomes cement. So I'm just letting you know, if you really love the person in your life who's doing your dishes, please rinse your bowl if you've had oatmeal.
We can go and say, trust me, I won't let you down.
So the main project that I really wanted to do was to declutter our pantry, and I also wanted to do our fridge as well, but I ended up only having time for the pantry because it was bad. You guys are gonna see it was such a mess. There was so much stuff in there, a ton of stale food, unfortunately. So we're going to tackle that project in a little bit. But before I could do that, I needed the rest of the kitchen to be clean. So that's why I'm doing the dishes, spraying the Easy Off. I'm going to tidy up a couple areas in the kitchen before we get to doing that because I knew it was going to be overwhelming as soon as I took all that food out of the pantry. So everything else needed to be clean in order for me to tackle that.
We could be as one and we'll escape.
As we inch closer to the holidays, I know everyone is brainstorming the perfect gift for their loved ones. I'm planning to gift my parents a set of Caraway pots and pans, and I know as one of their 5 children, I will definitely be winning Christmas this year. I'm really excited to be partnering with Caraway for today's video because actually one of the top questions that I get asked in my videos is where my green pans are from. And usually when I'm doing my dishes, I have 1 or 2 in the sink, and I always get a comment about how they seem so easy to clean, and they are. They're so incredibly easy to clean. I've had this cookware set for over a year now, and it's all held up wonderfully. These are the only pots and pans that I use. I was actually able to donate my older stuff because I found that I just didn't reach for them anymore once I started cooking with Caraway. One of my favorite features of the Caraway cookware set is that it comes with its own organization and storage solutions. The cookware set comes with pot and lid holders. The lid holder fits right on the inside of your cabinet door, and the pot holders are magnetic and like completely customizable. So you can put your pots and pans in any order that works best for you. I keep mine stacked from front to back in my cabinet, and the ones closest to me are the ones I reach for the most. This just works best for me, but I have also stored them side to side before, and I love that you can decide which way works best for you in the space that you have. I also, of course, love that Caraway's nonstick pans are truly nonstick, but without all that yucky stuff. There are no potentially toxic materials that could make their way into your food. And of course, like you all have noticed in my videos, they are so easy to clean. If you are deciding on presents for loved ones, I figured I would share a few other ideas from Caraway. So first of all, everyone always needs food storage. Caraway's food storage containers are beautiful and sleek, and they also come with their own organization. They're microwave and dishwasher safe, and they're free also of any of the toxic materials. I would be absolutely thrilled to receive them as a gift. They offer a beautiful bakeware set as well that comes with anything you could possibly need to bake for the holidays, and I'm obsessed with their prep set as well. I've had my eyes on it for a little bit, and I may just go ahead and treat myself this Christmas. You can save up to 20% off site-wide by visiting carawayhome.com/CatherineNovember. This is Caraway's biggest sale of the year and will not last long, so make sure you get your orders in ASAP before things start to sell out. Anything they offer would make an incredible gift for someone you love, or maybe if you just want to treat yourself too, you could do that. So again, click the link in my description now below, and thank you so much to Caraway for sponsoring today's video.
at each other, and I don't know how to start, but I still love you like I do.
I don't know if you guys saw, but my sink was just disgusting when I was cleaning the dishes. At one point I had to like scrape out all the food that was stuck there in the drain because it was preventing it from like draining down, and it was just gross. So I'm scrubbing the sink out as usual. This is just one of those things I always like to do when my sink is that piled up with dishes, because chances are it's pretty yucky underneath.
Me tonight, run away with me. It'd be worth the time. Run away with me. I made you feel alright. Run away with me, and I'll be good this time around. I'll be good.
Now I'm going to go ahead and dry everything off and put it away. I wanted to ask you guys, I kind of played with the speed in this video, so some of these clips I have sped up pretty fast, some of them are slowed down a little bit. Typically I speed everything up really fast and really chop it up. I want to fit as much content as I can into a video, but then that typically makes my videos a little shorter. So I don't know if you guys prefer shorter, more fast-paced videos, or if you like the longer ones where things are a little bit more slowed down and maybe more chatty. So please let me know in the comments, because I definitely want to make sure I'm doing what you guys like here on my channel. Now I'm going to clean off my stovetop using the pink stuff. This is actually another comment, aside from my green pans, that I get all the time. So how do I keep my stovetop looking clean? I just use the pink stuff. Typically on like a daily basis, I'll just spray some all-purpose cleaner onto the stovetop and wipe it down with like a microfiber cloth or paper towel if that's what I happen to have. But if I'm really trying to deep clean and have my stovetop look super shiny and nice and new, I'll use the pink stuff. That works the best. So I just kind of scuff it on. I use like a soft sponge. I just really paint it on there, and then I wipe that off, usually using a paper towel, and then go in with a wet cloth, and it comes out looking beautiful. We have had cold after cold in this house for the last month. 'Tis the season, so I had a bunch of medicine on this windowsill that I needed to put away, and then I just wanted to completely clear it off. I feel like there's just so much clutter in here all the time right now, so I'm decluttering that windowsill for good, getting all that clutter off of there, and then I'm going to wipe down the window. So while I was doing this, I happened to notice that the light right above my head was incredibly dirty. It was practically growing legs with the dust. It was about to just start walking away. So I decided to also clean that while I was doing all of this. Like, look at how cloudy this light is. It was just looking so bad. So this really helped to brighten it up and just make it look shiny again. I have another light fixture in the kitchen that I should also do this to, but I didn't do it the same time I was cleaning this one, which I really should have.
I thought we could fix them, but we got tired. There's nothing left to do but to say goodbye and try to move on. I'll get over you, only wish that I knew how to go on. Baby, you and me were so messed up together.
I was using my eCloth general purpose cloth for a lot of my cleaning on this day. You guys know I've been using those since, I want to say it was 2020 when I bought my first set. They're still some of my favorite cleaning cloths. I use them all the time, so just wanted to let you guys know what I'm using here, since you don't see me spraying anything, and whenever I'm not spraying something, people ask, well, how are you actually cleaning? Well, eCloths clean with just water, so that's really cool.
I'll get over you.
Another thing I wanted to declutter off of my kitchen counters was the extra dish soap and hand soap bottles. Right now, the only hand soap we use is that purple one you can see right there. We weren't using the other two bottles at all, so they were just taking up space, and I really needed to get things off of our counters. So I'm also going around the rest of the counters, putting away anything else that doesn't need to be out, freeing up space. I'm telling you, our counters have just been covered in stuff for quite a while now, and it's been driving me insane. So this felt really good to get all this clutter off of there and have like free looking countertops again.
A new place, a new home. For a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. take my time, just enjoy the ride. I know, man, passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive.
I thought I would get like a really cute angle here of the tree in the background, and then my son decided it was time to start punting the football across the room repeatedly, so I hope you guys enjoy that as I clean off my island. Carson loves to play pretend football, and I was filming this on a Sunday. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's football playing on the TV in the background. And whenever he's watching football, he tries to like reenact whatever's happening. So there is just always chaos in our house with two little boys.
Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way, I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way.
Okay, we are moving on to the pantry project. So this was really bad. We had so much food in here, and it was to the point where I was losing things. They were getting shoved in the back and I couldn't see them, and they weren't getting used up, and they were going bad, which is so unfortunate. So I knew that this really needed to be taken care of so that we can be better going forward. Now, I don't know if maybe I should give like a trigger warning here or something, but I'm going to be throwing away quite a bit of food, and I know it's bad. I'm aware. You don't have to bully me in the comments. Honestly, if you do bully me in the comments, I might cry. So please don't. I feel really bad whenever we have food waste. We try so hard not to, but it had been a very long time since I had gone through a pantry. I can't remember the last time I cleaned it out. And like I said, things were getting shoved in the back, and there's nothing I can do about finding stale food. At that point, we're not going to eat it. So you'll see as I'm going through everything from in the pantry, I was taste testing things to see if they were still good, and there was just so much that was stale. You can like see it all over my face as soon as I take a bite of a lot of this stuff. But anyway, if it's gonna upset you, just shield your eyes. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be like this. We really normally are not this bad, but we're going to take care of it today. So I'm starting off by just doing the top half of the pantry because I was feeling quite overwhelmed, and I knew we didn't have the space to take everything out of the bottom half as well. So we're going to break it up into two different steps here by taking everything out of the top portion first and going through it. I wanted to show you guys here. You can see the expiration date has passed, long past, on these snacks here that my husband had in there. So I did have to dump those. Again, so unfortunate. But yeah, that's just the beginning. So here we go. We're dumping things out. I'm testing things. I'm checking expiration dates, looking for mold on bread, and anything that's no longer good, I am going to toss into this bag here. Anything that's recyclable, I'm taking the food out and dumping it into the trash bag, and then I will break down the cardboard later on, which you guys will see. So I'm doing my best to make sure I'm at least recycling and just trying to do my part despite the food waste. Another thing that really contributes to our struggle with food, and the reason why we had so much, is that our youngest son, Sutton, he is going to be 2 in January. He has a lot of trouble with eating, and I don't really talk about it super often, but I'm sure I've mentioned it in past videos. He really does not like food, and it's something that we struggle with every single day, trying to get him to eat. He's actually finally visiting a GI in a couple months. We may end up in food therapy, but he gags on everything if it even comes close to his mouth. He has like a few, I guess, safe foods, we could call them, that he will eat, but I'm constantly buying new food, trying to get him to try something else. and he just won't. So it's a real pain point in our family. We've struggled with that for, I want to say it's been the last year. And hopefully, once we finally get him to the GI and potentially get him into food therapy, he'll start being more adventurous and he'll start eating more foods. But a lot of things went bad that I bought specifically for him, hoping that he would like it, and he didn't end up liking it. And then my older son didn't like it either or whatever. But it's been a real battle, and yeah, it's really hard. So if you guys have ever had a child that struggled like that with eating, I could definitely use some encouragement in the comments. Let me know, did they eat now? Because it's so rough, and we're just constantly trying and failing, and hopefully soon, once he visits that doctor, it starts to get a little bit better. I always say this in my decluttering videos, and a lot of you have told me that you found it helpful. So typically I will take everything out of a space. I'll do a little bit of sorting through it, but if I'm starting to feel overwhelmed, I'll just start putting things away. And as I'm doing that, it kind of weeds out the things that I want to declutter as I'm going. And it just makes the process a little bit easier for me. I really try to be grateful for what we have, and I am super grateful. I love our kitchen ever since we did our renovations, but I certainly dream about having a big walk-in pantry someday. I really hope we can eventually make that happen. This is a major improvement over what we used to have in here, and then also when I was living in my apartment, if you guys were around then, I didn't have a pantry at all, so I had to be super creative about storing food. But this is still hard with a family of 4, and my husband eats a lot, so I feel like he's got a lot of food in here. And then also now Carson is getting older and he eats a ton of food and loves his snacks, so the pantry storage is a little bit tricky. And I've tried a couple of different ways of organizing our pantry. I've tried it without bins and with bins. I do think that the bins are helpful, but I do find myself daydreaming about a big walk-in pantry someday.
It's just that my heart can't take it. I didn't know what it would cost me when I let you go. I feel alone, and I'm just singing. It should have been.
So this is what my countertop is looking like with wave number 2 of pulling out all this food from the pantry, and we're going to start going through all of this now. So these pretzels, I want to say they've been in the pantry for like a year and a half, and nobody is eating them. So at some point you do have to get rid of that stuff. I'm sure they probably weren't very good anymore, even in like a sealed container like that, but they were just taking up space that I really could have used for other things.
But now the ground is shaking. Could be a phase, but it feels like it will never go away until we make up. I can't be myself. I never knew how much.
In our local area, I've seen that there are a couple of different programs where I could donate meals for the holidays. So I've been thinking about like sponsoring a family for the holidays that needs some extra help this year. I've been looking into that. But if you guys have anything that you do every single year as far as donating or helping other families in need, please leave whatever you do in the comments below. I would love to hear it because I'm always looking for more ideas and more ways that I can help. And I'm sure there are other people watching this video who would love to hear the different ways that they can get involved as well.
I could be wrapped around your arms instead of being lonely. It should have been you. Another time, another place, I just know. You could have been the one who made me feel home. What a crime and what a shame to let go. Ooh, it should have been you. Another time.
I'm taking a break from sorting through things for a second so I can clean out a couple of these bins that I wanted to reuse. So this pancake mix one, there was super old pancake mix in there, and I decided to dump that and put what was left of the pancake mix we have been using in there, so I'm cleaning that one out. And then I also wanted to clean one of these jars. This is the one that had those like peanut butter pretzels in them, and I'm going to use this jar as a cookie jar to combine the Oreo cookies that we had in the pantry.
This world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way
I was kind of brainstorming things we could talk about in the comments below before I was doing the voiceovers to this video. And one thing I had thought of was I was trying to come up with a list of things that maybe I would like to receive for Christmas this year to tell my husband. But I really don't have much on my list this year. I feel like I just don't need a lot. I also don't want to bring a ton of clutter into our house. So anyway, I would love to know, what are you guys asking for Christmas this year? And if you don't have a list of gifts that you would like, if you could pick one thing, even like the most extravagant thing you could think of, one thing you could get for Christmas, please let me know what it is in the comments.
this is goodbye, bye, bye. Elaine made you crazy, crazy, yeah, yeah. I see your stories and I can't believe all the people you meet. Think you belong with everybody else, but you belong with me. And there's nothing I can do, 'cause you don't see straight when it comes to her. No, she's gonna eat you up whole and spit you out, and then you'll be free. Every piece. I wish you could be happy, yeah, yeah.
We are almost done sorting through everything, and then I'm going to start putting everything away because, again, like I said, when I start to get overwhelmed doing a big decluttering project, I'll just start putting things away, and it helps me weed out the things that I probably don't need as I'm going. So I always find that this method just works the best for me. But you can see that I'm kind of combining snacks as I find them, just trying to eliminate that excess packaging so that we don't have quite as much packaging in the way, blocking me from being able to see things, and then we just have more space to store things.
Everything wish you could be happy, yeah, yeah. But I can't lie. LA made you crazy, yeah, yeah.
I usually do the things that I specifically keep for Sutton on this top shelf in the second half of the pantry, and then the next shelf down I usually do like dinner sides and pasta and stuff like that, and then the next shelf down I do Carson's snacks or his snacks for school and things like that. So I'm kind of sticking to that typical way that we put our pantry together. Whenever I am reorganizing a space, I find that if I put something in a different spot than we're used to it being in, we'll keep going to that old spot trying to grab it, and it just becomes frustrating. So I didn't want to switch up anything. I wanted to put things back where we typically put them to avoid the struggle that would happen for weeks when we're reaching for things and they're not where we thought they were, and then we're losing things, and it totally defeats the purpose of the organization. So maybe this system is not the best, but it works for us, and that's all that matters.
I don't want it to stop. Even though we fight sometimes and it feels like a war zone, I still care about us. How do you move on when everything goes wrong? I'm trying to find a way to get you out my head. Don't know how to cope with being so broken. Girl, I can't forget about what we said. I just wanna love you a little bit more. Don't just walk away from me and close the door. Baby, pull me closer now before it's over. I just wanna love you a little bit more. Oh, I know that it's difficult dealing with emotions, but I want you to know that you'll always be on my mind, even in the hard times.
Now here is the after of the pantry. It looks so much better. We can see everything that we have, and my husband was really excited when he saw that I did this because it was a struggle for all of us to find what we were looking for. But this is all the recycling that I collected while I was going through all the food. So this is all the excess packaging, and I'm going to break all that down and bring that out into our recycling bin. But then I'm also going to show you guys the big bag of trash that I had as well. So this was all the food that unfortunately was no longer good. And then there is also some excess packaging in there as well, but just things that I couldn't recycle. But we're going to get rid of all this now, and we are, I don't know, this was probably like 20 pounds, like 20 pounds lighter of food in our pantry.
It's hard to stay real in a world full of fakes. It's hard to find truth when the liars are great. I'm trying my best to stay out of your way. Oh well, oh well. You talk a big talk, but got nothing to say. You hold your head high, but your morals to fade.
I almost forgot about wiping out the oven, but I did not, thankfully. So I grabbed a sponge, wet it with some hot water, and I started scrubbing the inside of the oven. This did a really good job. It's not perfect. There's one spot in particular on the bottom of the oven that was like burnt on grease or something. I think it was from a pizza that dripped, and that did not come all the way off, but I think with another pass it probably would have. I recently tried to use the self-cleaning on my oven, and you guys might remember that video, but it triggered like a full-blown allergy attack for me. It was terrible. My house absolutely stunk, and I'll never do it again. But I think this oven actually has a steam clean option, which I don't know how to do, but I'm going to look into that because I've heard that that is better. But please let me know, because I've heard that self-cleaning is really bad for your oven. I don't know if steam cleaning, using the steam clean function on the oven, is also really bad. So if you guys have any experience with that, I would love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Now, something that I would probably do if I were not filming this is leave all these bins in the sink to deal with another time, and then I would be so frustrated with myself because I'd have a sink full of dishes. And I just wanted to complete this whole project on this day. So we're also going to tackle all these dishes. These are just empty bins that I didn't end up needing in the pantry, but I'm going to keep them upstairs stored in like our corner cabinet in case I do end up needing them at some point. I didn't want to like put them downstairs and then not have them when I need them. I just like them to be easily accessible.
We watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many times before. We look at the
Now, the last thing that I wanted to do was to clean my floors. So I'm just pulling out my Tinco wet dry vacuum. I forget exactly which model I have, but you guys always ask me, so I'll try to remember to leave the link down below. But I'm using that to clean up my floors. And then once we're all done doing that, we're going to call it a day on this video. Sutton took a super long nap. I was actually able to film this entire video while he was asleep. So I felt super accomplished. He slept for, I want to say it was like 3 hours. So this whole deep clean and declutter of the kitchen took me around 3 hours, just for some context. And I've cut it down into a 30-minute video. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out Caraway and go through their site and find some gifts for the people that you love this holiday season, or again, treat yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you some motivation to clean and declutter a space in your home. Be sure to subscribe if you are new and turn on your notification bells so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I hope that I will see you again next week for another video.